There's a remote island off the coast of Florida that's so remote it doesn't even have a name on Google Maps.
For the next 12 hours, I'll be trying to survive here with only what's inside this bag, along with my survival knowledge.
Why? Because survival YouTubers make this look easy. They catch their fish with their hands, build 5-star shelters out of sticks, and somehow still have perfect lighting.
So I'm taking it upon myself to see if I can do it even better.
Here are the rules. Rule number 1. I am not allowed to leave this island or the surrounding water for the next 12 hours. Shouldn't be too hard. Rule number 2. All food must be sourced from the island or the surrounding area, aka no snacking for me, which sucks because I really like snacks. Rule number 3. I must eat 3 meals today and they are not allowed to be the same species. So by the end of this, I could be eating a seagull or iguana or something. And if I can't complete this challenge following these rules, I will be staying the night on this island with nothing but the clothes on my back. And it gets pretty cold here, so I'd prefer not to do that. Now we're gonna get to exploring this island, but I wanna start out the challenge strong so that I could actually leave later.
So it's time to get into the water and attempt to catch my first meal of the day. I brought a pole spear, fins, mask, and a snorkel. I don't know if you guys could tell that for my first survival challenge, I was a little clumsy and nervous because I've never done this before. First thing I do when I get in the water is scope out the area for sharks, and once I realize that there are none around me, at least that I'm able to see, I found a little piece of structure at the bottom. Structure is always a good sign no matter what you're hunting, and in this instance, it was actually housing a bunch of crustaceans, specifically like very small lobsters. These lobsters were safe because when I was here, it was not lobster season, which so lucky for them because I would have eaten them in 2 seconds. Shortly after those lobsters, I found a very small hermit crab, and I was considering eating this, but this one was like smaller than the size of my palm, and I'm really looking for something to feed me. At the end of the day, eating this hermit crab is going to be more calories than it's worth. When you're freediving, you're burning between 800 and 1300 calories an hour depending on the water temperature. So when I came across this snail the size of Africa, I got super stoked because it looked like it was extremely calorie rich. The only problem is that it's a queen conch, and where I'm at in Florida, they're protected. So if I were in the Bahamas, I could eat this thing, but because of my location, I could not, which sucked because they looked delicious. At this point, I was really starting to feel just my hunger in general. Like, I was not having fun. That's when I found a perfect meal, a 3-foot barracuda. It's one of the fastest fish in the ocean, so I take the approach of kind of going to the bottom and slowly stalking their school, but as I get closer, they really flex their speed on me, and before I know it, they're gone. And I'm even hungrier than I was before I found them. Now, this is where I really believe I had a godsend. There is a fish right here in the grassy area, and I didn't understand why it was moving. Maybe it was sick, maybe it had just given birth. I really could not tell you, but whatever the case was, I wasn't complaining. Like, I was very lucky to stumble across this thing. Eventually, after taking enough shots at it, I did wind up getting it on the end of my pole spear. This is a perfect example of why having a slip tip on the end of your pole spear is a huge advantage. A good comparison is like having your fish like you do a dog on a leash. It could try to swim away all it wants, but no matter what, it's not going to be able to get off the end of your spear.
We were able to catch a target species, a beautiful mangrove snapper.
Anytime you catch a fish, you want to make sure you gut it and leave the guts in the ocean. This will feed other animals in the ecosystem and make sure that nothing goes to waste. Once your fish is clean, we're going to get to scaling. Scaling is most effective when you run your blade opposite to the direction of the scales.
All right, this looks good. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am to eat right now. Very stoked to catch my first fish right now. We're gonna get to cooking it, and I'm really hungry, so I'm excited. But I haven't really even explored the island yet. There's not really a whole lot. It's not the biggest island, so let's explore the island. And this is the humble abode. So this is where I go spearfishing, and then there's actually a path up this way. Ow, ow, these small rocks hurt. And just like that, we're on top of the island. You see there's another island, and it's home to this osprey right over here. Definitely don't want to piss off the osprey and get attacked, so we're trying to keep our distance. This is like a really solid vantage point, though. I can pretty much see everything. This is base camp, where we'll get to in a minute. Something catching my eye right now, though, is do you guys see all these little holes right here? Those are, if I had to guess, iguana holes. And iguanas are an invasive species here in Florida, and they're delicious. So if I could get my hands on one, that'd be great. Check it out. This is home base, but from up top. And now we're at the bottom. This is the fire pit we're gonna be using to cook our fish. We even have a little swing connected to the tree, which is good. I'll probably be pondering some of life's greater questions here. And then right over here, you can see we have a bunch of bugs climbing onto my fish. That sucks so bad. All right, we're just gonna leave those there. And this is the rest of the island. I found some man-made stuff. I'm probably actually gonna use that for a shelter later. later, but for now we're good. And you guys get the idea. Step one to cooking my fish is to get wood. So we need to forage for that, and we only want dead stuff. So we're not breaking or killing any trees or anything, only the stuff on the ground. The good news is that all over this island is super flammable material. Like this stuff that kind of just looks like hay, super easy to ignite. So we're gonna get a bunch of that. So first step to making a fire, we're gonna make a teepee. I really like that this piece of wood is more thick than the others. So we're gonna go ahead and literally clear all this out right now. Stick it on through. There we go. It's important whenever you're making a fire, you leave it open for the air to come through. That way oxygen can feed the flame and it really gets into a big hot fire. Now you're just gonna make a little tent, okay? It's nothing crazy. You add one here, boom, a boom. These are nice and hollow. These should light really well. Now I'm just gonna pick up a bunch of pine needles, and this is essentially gonna be the super flammable stuff that gets our fire started. We hope, right? Go ahead and put the pine needles under where the wood is. That way, as the pine needles start to ignite, the wood will slowly catch because they take a little bit more time and heat. So obviously for this challenge, I have a lighter, but for every survival challenge I make, I'm gonna make it so that you can take away one of my items. So leave a comment below if you want me to not bring my lighter next time, not bring one of my spears. I'll come naked if you guys want. Just comment below and I'll make it happen. Top comment wins. Let's have fun with this lighter before one of you guys takes it away from me. Listen, I know it looks easy when you have a lighter, but making a fire is hard anywhere you go. Okay, we got it, we got it. All right, now I gotta take advantage of it. I've never cooked a fish like this, but already you can see he's getting so crispy along the edges. I'm the kind of person where I get very hangry. Like when I'm hungry or tired, I'm not having a good time. This is one of those times. All right, we're gonna put this fire out before we go eat it, just to make sure we stay safe. If you ever wanna put a fire out and you don't have any water, you can just kind of separate it and it'll go out on its own. Obviously, don't ever leave fires unattended, but this is good for now. And obviously these are hot embers, so you wanna really be careful. Bro, that sucks so bad. Why? Why? Why did that happen?
Well, I've almost ruined my first meal, but I'm gonna brush it off and eat it anyways. Time to see how well I cook this fish.
I'm gonna start by taking the layer of skin off. Wow, guys, look at this. That looks fire. 5-star restaurant couldn't compete with that color. That's insane. Wow, man, that's so good. And it's really interesting. When you're hungry and thirsty, you don't even really think about the hunger as much as the thirst, right? Like you just feel it in your throat. Eating a saltwater fish, you'd expect it to be a little salty. Nope, this is like hydrating. Like I literally taste the water in it. Something I'm a bit concerned about is that this is like by far the most plentiful species around the island. So I think for my next 2 meals, it's gonna be a lot tougher to catch because I don't really know what I'm gonna be targeting, but definitely need to celebrate the little victories. People always say, whenever you cook the fins, they come out like little chips. You could eat them. Let's give it a taste. Wow, that actually has really good flavor. Identical to like a potato chip. That's super good. I think the next plan of action is to find a place to take a nap. Just rest for a minute, I'm exhausted. It's funny enough, right next to where I was eating is actually what looks like a broken tent. I really don't know. It was on the island when I got here, so I'm gonna see if I can't make a little shady area for myself. I think this will work as the main piece. Guys, you guys are gonna realize how easy it is to make shelter after this. Literally put this here. Go ahead and put that like that. Boom. I know what you're thinking, Nick, this is not a shelter. Calm yourself, okay? There's more to go. What even is this? What the heck? Oh, ew, ew. I just got so much like still water on me. Oh, let me smell it. Oh, that smells terrible.
Guys, still water may look safe, but it could be a breeding ground for bacteria and parasites. Accidentally consuming this water could take me out of this challenge early.
All right, so the problem I'm having, oh, okay, that's great. The problem I'm having right now is that A, this is too heavy and essentially uncomfortable and gross. Like, look at all this stuff I just got on me. So I want to find more natural cover. Let's see what I can find.
After searching around the island for a while, I finally came across this spot that looked shaded and elevated enough to where the tide can't reach me.
You see there's like a nice patch of grass right here. It's soft. The only thing is I want to make a little pillow for myself. I'm so tired, guys. So I need to go find something to pad these rocks so I can rest my head on it.
And it's looking like so far this old tent is the only option I have for a pillow.
Or maybe, rather than like this nasty thing, what if I go with this thing? This looks like it might be comfier, a little cleaner. I was wrong. Okay, we're going back with this. Oh, stuck on all the freaking rocks. All right, let's see. How is my shelter that I made? Actually mad comfy. It smells disgusting. It smells really bad, guys. But oh my God, I've been sleeping on planes and in freaking cars for the last 4 days. So this being the first time I'm laying down in a while feels really good. So I think the plan is I'm gonna wait until after my second meal to go try to get some water. I don't even know where I'll start with water. I'm pretty sure I need to find a coconut somewhere, but looking at this island, I'm only seeing like mangroves and not a single coconut tree. So that's not good. With that being said, we're on an island, so there's a good chance that a coconut could like wash up somewhere. I gotta get lucky with that one. If not, this might be a very thirsty 12 hours. I was not able to sleep at all. I have real bad asthma, and sometimes when I smell mold, it kind of just gets in the back of my head, sketches me out. And I was just like, is this gonna kill my asthma? With that being said, I am already hungry again, which is nuts because I ate nearly like an hour ago. I'm a growing boy though, what can I say? Something else I always do whenever I'm about to go for a dive is I wet the front of my face and the back of my neck to activate my mammalian dive reflex.
This is a reflex all mammals have when their face touches water. It slows your heart rate and prioritizes oxygen going to your internal organs rather than your arms and legs.
All right, here we go. Dive number 2.
The name of the game on this dive was trying to save calories. On the last one, I was in the water for over an hour, and this was just really bad for overall. When I get in the water, I found this yellowfin mahara, and this is a pretty dumb, curious fish. Like, they don't really run away from you. And right here, you could see I got a total kebab out of him, which was great because I caught this like 1 minute into my dive. Whenever you see a rock that looks like it might go deep, I would always encourage you to lift it because there can always be a crustacean or something underneath. When I lifted the rock, I found a channel crab, and it took me a little bit to catch it. I was a little bit nervous because I've never been pinched by one of these guys. I was actually stoked because crab is like one of my favorite meals, and I just started pulling them out of the woodworks. The biggest struggle I always face is figuring out where to put all my animals as I'm hunting. So I made it so they clinged onto each other, and every once in a while, I would have to play hot potato. Like, it's so hard to hunt and have 2 crabs in your hand at the same time. Now, I'm looking at all my food, and don't get me wrong, this is good, but I am starving, guys. Like, I cannot exaggerate this enough. All I've had today is maybe like 100 to 200 calories with that first fish, and I've already definitely burned at least 1,000. So I'm definitely way in the negative and looking for something that will fill me up. That's when I found the biggest freaking channel crab I have ever seen in my life. This thing looked like it could give me like a reach around hug. So I dropped the female that's in my hand, and I started thinking about how to strategize to catch this thing. Because he looks like if he pinches me, I will be in a lot of pain. The ground beneath me was so mushy that anytime I'd make a slight movement, it would pretty much kick the entire area up and make the visibility non-existent. You couldn't see. At one point, there was so much sand kicked up, and this crab must have got disoriented or something because he completely came out of his little hole. When you get them by the claws, they're entirely completely useless. Like, they can't really do anything, and obviously a hand is stronger than a claw. Took some time to look around the rock just in case this was like a super breeder rock for some really big channel crabs, but the only thing I was seeing were other tiny ones, and specifically females. With that being said, I'm never someone to overlook an opportunity, so I decided to go back in for them and noticed they were stacked right on top of each other. When I flipped the rock, they really weren't too scared of me, so I had to grab at least one of them. The best part about this entire dive is that it was so short. It only lasted about 20 or 30 minutes, and that means more calories saved than burned.
Oh! This little one's so mean! Unluckily, the little one has me by his claws. Originally coming in, I had 3. They pinched me so much they got away. I only came in with 2. Interesting thing about these guys, they call them clinging crab. They have like 4 names: spider crab, clinging crab, channel crab. They call them clinging crabs because they tend to cling to the rocks or anything that their legs are pretty much caught on. So you see this guy's just clinging to my hand. He will stay here all day if he could. Oh yeah, and I caught a fish. That's pretty cool. Caught a yellowfin mahara. A lot of people call these a trash fish. I personally actually really like them. Luckily, I don't have to look for any new foraging spots. I know where all the driftwood on this island is. We're just gonna go ahead and straight up put the crabs right on the fire. They shouldn't have any problem cooking. We're just gonna go ahead and put this guy right here. My fire went out, but I'm gonna go ahead and kebab this thing real quick. The crabs are already turning colors. It's pretty. This one is done. Feels like I'm roasting a marshmallow, but a fish. This could be finished cooking, but I wanna make this nice and crispy so it tastes like a chip. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that right in the fire, crisp it up. Because I don't have any water, I need to make sure I get as much water as possible from these things. Speaking of it, it's so funny. I've been so zoned in to catching my food, but now that I've mentioned the word water, holy cow, I'm incredibly thirsty right now. Okay, after peeling everything I don't want off the thing, this is what it looks like. I think I was in the water for like less than 30 minutes sourcing this and the crabs. On my first dive, it took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to catch that mangrove. That's the difference in like 500 to 800 calories, me just making my dive time less. So even though it doesn't look like I have a whole lot of food here, like this is gonna take me a very long way and make it so that I can hopefully catch my dinner and get off this island. What I'm really excited about is Senor Channel crab over here, because these are like, I love crabs. I'm sure you guys know. Oh, look at that meat. That's fire, gang. Channel crabs are so good. I should have gotten every single one of them. What am I thinking? You could actually tell whether you're eating a male or a female channel crab. This right here is a male, and I know that because it has really big claws. And this one here is a female. You can see their bodies are both the same size, but the female's claws are way, way smaller. So that's how you know. Okay, here's my game plan. I need to find a coconut. I see no coconut trees. So I'm gonna do a lap around the island, hopefully find something. That's very wishful thinking. And yeah, I guess just rest until it's time for my last meal. I'll be real with you guys, I'm not very hopeful right now. You've seen the size of this island. There is not a palm tree on here. Either I need to find a coconut or I need to catch my third species so I can get off this island as soon as possible.
Despite my efforts to hydrate myself, I wasn't able to find any fruit. And to be honest, it was definitely getting to me.
Gosh, I feel like such a failure after not being able to find a coconut. There's literally like, bro, there's nothing to do when you're just surviving. It's a lot of fun because you just get to do all the stuff you love. You know, you get to be outdoors, but like at the same time, there's nothing to do. It's literally, it's like I can nap, I can sit on this swing, which is pretty cool. I can't believe I haven't done this sooner. I'm getting this really like surreal memory. I used to go camping with my mom when I was younger, and she used to take me to this place called Peace River. It was just beautiful. I remember we'd go down in a little canoe for like hours and miles. I must have been like 12 last time I went. I haven't thought about that in a very long time. I'm sitting here thinking about what's left to be able to catch, and off the top of my head, we've got lionfish, which is an invasive species. If I could find one of those, they're delicious. That'd be great. They're venomous, but would still be good. The birds are protected, so I can't go hunt that osprey. It's not lobster season, it's not grouper season. I've already caught a mangrove, a channel crab, and a yellowfin mahara. For this time my hunting, I'm gonna do something different and use this kind of a pole spear. It's a 3-prong instead of a slip tip, so get to use a little bit different of a weapon, see what the action on it is like. I'm really tired. I'm like trying to think of what to film and like make this a good story. Guys, I'm thirsty and tired and hungry. Let's stop complaining and go do something about it.
This is where a complete curveball came into my challenge. The reality of the situation is that this is a public island, and because I don't own it, I can't stop people from coming here.
I don't know how to say this. Our island, we just got boarded, raided by pirates, okay? And here are the pirates.
I quickly showed them around my base camp and then asked their parents.
Hey, mom and dad? I'm curious if I could go catch all of us dinner and maybe cook it on the island, if you're cool with it. You're down?
The silver lining to having this family board the island is that they had water with them, and technically, I did source this water from the island, so I'm gonna take it.
I wanna drink more so bad, but I also wanna save some for when I get out, so we're just gonna put this over there. This is one of the homies we found on the boat, and funny enough, he's perfectly geared up for spearfishing, so he's gonna help me feed the family. Oh! I'm a pro, I swear. If I see a shark though, I'm pointing him in your direction.
Don't let this high energy voiceover fool you. I am absolutely dying in the moment that this was being filmed. The first thing I see when I get in the water is this crab, only to realize that it was just a fresh molt. It wasn't actually alive. At one point I came across this massive ledge that were hiding right under the mangroves. And mangroves is like a series of tree systems. And sometimes under the roots is just a lot of area that you could actually explore. I don't even notice that in the top right corner is a massive lionfish. I take a deep breath and I go in to try to spear him, and he actually completely swerves my spear. The best part about these guys is that they don't really have a fight or flight reflex. They really just rely on their camouflage and venom, so they're actually pretty easy to spear once you like corner them a little bit. Now here, sprinting across the bottom is a pretty massive stone crab, and he's absolutely pissed. If he were to get my finger and isolate it, my finger would be gone. Before I know it, he starts to burrow into this grassy area, and I definitely can't just like put my hand in there and try to grab him because he could really take a finger off.
That was a huge stone crab.
Big.
Up.
And the worst part is that it's so murky here that anytime you touch the ground, it just creates a cloud of invisibleness. I put the lionfish on land so that I have my weapon back, and then I go right back to that hole that I was looking at previously. I see a pretty solid sized male channel crab. I reach in confidently and I'm not able to grab him, but if you know me, you know I get competitive with animals. So when I wasn't able to grab him, I was like, all right, you know what, game on. It's time to catch this thing. I put my head under the ledge again, and the crab was hitting the if I don't see you, you don't see me technique, which unfortunately just doesn't work when you come to this hunting thing. I was actually pretty stoked too, because when I did pull him out, I was like, oh shoot, this is a good size one. I secure both of his claws and then show him off to his buddies and just like, hey, you guys grow up a little bit and then this will be you one day. In this clip, the channel crab is actually holding onto a rock as hard as it can, and it really speaks volumes to how strong these clinging crabs are. I learned the lesson from the lionfish that right after you catch something, you should put it on land. So that's what I did with my crab. That's when my friend from earlier gave me some good news.
You got the stone crab? Got the stone crab. Hey, let's go. That's like my favorite. I think one more go at it, we can feed everyone.
With only one more fish in mind to be able to feed every single person, I was feeling good. The only thing is that no matter how good you feel at any given point, the lack of calories and severe dehydration eventually catches up with you. As I'm swimming, I also realized that I'm having a very bad asthma attack.
I'm starting to feel the ultimate fatigue right now. I don't think I could keep diving, guys. I mean, I'm having acid reflux, my stomach hurts, I'm hungry, my body keeps cramping. On top of that, this current is absolutely ripping. Kind of hard for me to keep up with it. It's just coming so fast this way. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go through these mangroves right here and cook us up dinner, whatever we got. Hopefully they're happy and it's enough food for everyone. I'm also having a really bad asthma attack right now. So I gotta go take care of that.
I had to swim about 1,000 meters upstream just to get to a place where I can get on the island. After successfully catching dinner for my new family, it's time to make a fire and carefully cook each catch. We have to be super careful because if anyone burns their food, I definitely don't have the energy to go spearfishing again. And if I don't have a third meal, I fail this survival challenge.
All right, guys, let's start cooking, huh?
This has been a crazy challenge, one that felt way lonelier than I expected. And so while we were cooking our fish, I felt grateful to have my new friends and the chance to eat my final meal of the day with them. All right, my friends, firstly, I'm sorry you're sitting in front of all my old carcasses. It's been a long day. Haven't gotten a chance to clean up, but we enjoyed the mangrove snapper, stone crab, and lionfish. Cooked to perfection, might I add. And just as we were finishing up, they wanted to say,
Subscribe!
Hey, there we go. Subscribe, you know.
I made sure our fire was put out and then said farewell to my new friends.
Thanks for having dinner, guys. Yeah. That was nice. They were really cool.
I've successfully hunted and cooked 3 meals, and my time on this island is almost up.
I remember when I was younger, I used to always watch these survival YouTubers, specifically the Australia ones like YBS. Dude's my hero. I would watch him catch mud crabs and I would think he was like the coolest guy in the world. He would go through these mud flats and just do all these things that seemed so out of reach. Seemed like something I would never get into. I remember I was like 11 years old. I was overweight at the time. I just felt like there was no hope for me. I really wasn't happy with my life. And it's crazy to think, 10 years later, you never know where you're gonna wind up. And all it takes is the right people introducing you to the right environments or how to do these things. Like, what I'm getting at is this doesn't just have to be a YouTube video that you watch. You could live this lifestyle too. If you even just think this is cool, if you're watching this, you're like, oh, that's kind of sick, just hit up a guide somewhere. Doesn't have to be expensive. Go do something outdoorsy.
And in the middle of my motivational speech, I heard my boat approaching.
Oh, that's him. I know it's not the best shot, but I'm high up in a tree. Probably a good time to mention I'm pretty afraid of heights. Look at that. That's what we call a successful survival challenge. And the sun is setting, which means it's time to go home finally.